Trust. It is a single word, yet it carries the weight of entire worlds. The invisible thread weaves human connections, the cornerstone of friendships, partnerships, and alliances. Trust allows us to open the guarded doors of our hearts, to rely on others in moments of vulnerability, and build relationships capable of weathering life's storms. But trust is a paradox. While cultivating it takes years, it can be shattered instantly. For those who pursue the teachings of Stoicism and ancient philosophy, trust is more than an emotional bond. It reflects character. The Stoics teach us that the nature of trust mirrors the soul of the one who offers it and the one who receives it. To place your trust in the wrong hands is to invite chaos into your life, risking emotional harm and erosion of your inner peace. Have you ever found yourself second-guessing someone's intentions, feeling a quiet unease that whispers beneath their words and actions? Perhaps you've dismissed these feelings as paranoia or a lack of confidence in your judgment. But Stoicism reminds us that such instincts, when tempered by reason, are not irrational fears but warnings. They are the subtle voices of discernment, guiding us toward truth and away from deception. When trust is misplaced, the consequences can be devastating. It is not just the betrayal of confidence that wounds us, but the recognition that we ignored the signs. Those subtle, almost imperceptible hints that something was amiss. A misplaced trust can derail relationships and our personal growth, leaving us to question the very foundation of our values. This is not a call to suspicion or cynicism. The Stoics believed in cultivating relationships with those of virtue, those who align with reason, honesty, and integrity. To do so, however, requires that we sharpen our ability to see clearly, to judge wisely, and to guard the sanctuary of our trust. It means acknowledging the signs of untrustworthiness, no matter how uncomfortable it may be, and protecting ourselves from the harm they can bring. The path to self-mastery and peace demands discernment. It is not an easy road, but it is a necessary one. Let us now explore the 5 signs that someone cannot be trusted, not as an act of judgment, but as a practice of wisdom and self-respect. After all, to place your trust wisely is to honor the value of your character and the principles you hold dear. Sign 1. They are masters of self-deception. Self-deception is the most insidious form of dishonesty. It doesn't wear the obvious mask of a lie told to others. Instead, it hides in the shadows of a person's mind, shaping their perception of reality. For the Stoic philosopher, truth is the foundation of virtue, and distorting it, outwardly or inwardly, is to corrode the very essence of character. When someone lies to themselves, they create a fragile facade that crumbles under scrutiny, leaving you questioning whether you can trust their version of events, or worse, their intentions. Consider the person who constantly rewrites their narrative to avoid accountability. They are always the victim in their stories, eternally misunderstood and wronged by circumstances or the people around them. Their failures are never the result of their own decisions, but rather the fault of an unjust world. This self-deception is not a harmless quirk, but a survival mechanism that allows them to shield their ego from the discomfort of truth. But what happens when this pattern intersects with your life? Their inability to confront reality becomes your burden to bear. Take, for instance, the coworker who insists their mistakes are caused by vague instructions or technical mishaps rather than their lack of preparation. They craft elaborate excuses, blaming the environment, their tools, or even their team, never once admitting their role in the problem. These people don't just mislead themselves, they pull others into their web of distortion. When you trust someone like this, you're risking disappointment and enabling their delusion, allowing it to spill into your shared experiences. The Stoics warn us to align ourselves with those who value truth above comfort. A person who cannot face their flaws or admit their mistakes is not just untrustworthy, they are dangerous. Their relationship with reality is so tenuous that it can collapse anytime, leaving you caught in the fallout. When pressed, they will twist facts to suit their narrative, even if it means rewriting the history you share. The damage goes beyond inconvenience. It strikes at the heart of trust. Trust requires clarity, accountability, and honesty. When someone constantly reshapes reality to avoid discomfort, they strip away the foundation on which trust is built. If they cannot confront the truth within themselves, how can they be expected to act with integrity in their interactions with you? Trusting someone who lies to themselves anchors your life to an illusion. It is to invest in a reality that can change with their mood or circumstances, leaving you unmoored and betrayed. For the Stoic, this is a risk that is not worth taking. Guard your trust as you would your peace, and remember, those who cannot be honest with themselves will struggle to be honest with anyone else. Sign 2. They wear two faces. Duplicity is a betrayal that strikes at the core of trust. The Stoics held truthfulness as a cornerstone of virtuous living, yet the two-faced individual directly opposes this principle. To your face, they are the epitome of kindness and support, speaking words of encouragement that seem to uplift your spirit. But once your back is turned, their tone shifts like the wind, revealing a hidden contempt or ambition that cuts deep. This duality is deceptive and corrosive, eroding the trust required for genuine relationships. The two-faced person is a master of performance. They craft an image so convincing that even when whispers of their betrayal reach your ears, you hesitate to believe it. Their ability to wear a mask of sincerity is their weapon, wielded to gain your confidence while they work in the shadows to undermine you. They thrive on this act, balancing carefully between praise and betrayal, leaving you doubting your instincts. It's a subtle manipulation that causes damage to your trust to occur when you see the cracks in their facade. Imagine confiding in a friend, sharing your deepest fears or aspirations. They nod attentively, their eyes filled with what appears to be genuine concern. You feel safe, believing you've found a confidant. But days later, the details of your private conversation surface in the most unexpected places, twisted and exaggerated for the entertainment of others. The betrayal isn't just in their words, but in the profound disregard for the bond you believed you shared. To them, your trust was a currency to be spent, not a value to be honored. The Stoic lesson is clear. Those wearing two faces are unreliable and dangerous. They don't simply lie. They create chaos, turning relationships into a battlefield of mistrust. When someone's words and actions fail to align, it signals a lack of integrity, which is the lifeblood of trust. If they can shift their loyalty so quickly when you're absent, what will stop them from doing so when it matters most? Two-faced individuals undermine not just relationships, but the foundations of your peace. Their betrayal forces you to question your judgment, leaving a residue of self-doubt that can linger long after the relationship ends. For the Stoic, this turmoil is unacceptable. Trust is sacred, and to place it in the hands of someone who wields duplicity as a tool invites unnecessary strife into your life. True allies are those whose words and actions align, and whose loyalty remains steady whether you're present. They don't need masks or performances. Their authenticity shines through. In navigating relationships, the Stoic advises us to seek these individuals and distance ourselves from those who live in duality. To trust a two-faced person is to gamble with your peace, a risk no one should take. Sign 3. Persistent jealousy. Jealousy is a silent poison that corrodes trust from within, transforming admiration into resentment and camaraderie into competition. For the Stoic, envy represents a profound misalignment with nature, a refusal to accept the roles and fortunes life has assigned to each of us. A jealous person sees your success not as a celebration of human potential, but as a personal affront, a glaring reminder of their own perceived inadequacies. Trust cannot thrive in the shadow of such bitterness. It withers under the weight of concealed hostility. At first, their jealousy may appear harmless, cloaked in faint smiles or dismissive comments that seem more careless than calculated. But jealousy rarely remains dormant. It grows, feeding on every achievement you share. Over time, their subtle barbs, "Must be nice to get lucky like that," or "I could have done the same if I had your opportunities," become sabotage tools. They may downplay your accomplishments in public, exclude you from conversations, or undermine your confidence through veiled criticisms disguised as advice. To the jealous individual, every victory of yours feels like a defeat for them. This behavior reflects a more profound insecurity, a fractured sense of self that projects its pain outward rather than addressing its root. Instead of viewing your growth as a source of inspiration, they perceive it as a threat, a competition they never agreed to but feel compelled to win. Trusting such a person is like attempting to build a foundation on the unstable ground. The structure may hold for a time, but it is only a matter of when, not if, it will collapse. Consider the coworker who, instead of collaborating toward shared goals, quietly withholds crucial information or forgets to include you in important meetings. Their envy closes their eyes to the larger purpose, reducing what should be a partnership to a rivalry. They may even feign support, offering hollow encouragement while secretly hoping for your failure. Such duplicity doesn't just harm the relationship. It damages your ability to feel safe, valued, and supported. For the Stoic, jealousy is not merely a weakness but a profound obstacle to virtue. A jealous person cannot see clearly. Envy clouds their judgment and distorts their interactions. Trust cannot coexist with this kind of distortion. To confide in someone consumed by jealousy is to hand your vulnerability to someone who resents it. It's like planting seeds in toxic soil. Nothing good can grow there. The solution, as the Stoics would advise, lies in discernment. Surround yourself with those who celebrate your successes genuinely, who see your victories as a testament to the strength of human endeavor rather than a threat to their worth. Let go of those whose envy festers into sabotage, for their insecurity will only pull you down. Trust requires mutual respect and goodwill, qualities a jealous person cannot consistently offer. And without them, no relationship can endure, no matter how close. 4. They are evasive and unclear. Trust thrives in transparency, and evasion is its mortal enemy. The Stoics valued clarity in thought and action, understanding that deception, whether deliberate or through omission, disrupts the harmony essential for meaningful relationships. An evasive person, however, exists in the gray areas of ambiguity, offering half-truths, vague answers, and overly complex explanations that leave you questioning their sincerity. They turn straightforward interactions into frustrating puzzles, eroding your confidence in them and yourself. At first, their behavior may seem inconsequential, a canceled plan with a flimsy excuse or a vague response to a simple question. But as the pattern emerges, you notice a deeper issue. Their unwillingness to be forthright signals that they are hiding something. Ask where they've been or why they missed a deadline, and they weave a tale so elaborate it borders on absurdity. Instead of clarity, you're left with a fog of excuses, distractions, and contradictions designed to shift your attention away from the truth. This evasiveness is not mere forgetfulness or social awkwardness. It is a deliberate avoidance of accountability. People who dodge responsibility often rely on deflection to escape scrutiny, turning the focus back on you with questions like, "Why are you making such a big deal out of this?" Or, "Why don't you trust me?" Their simple yet effective strategy makes you doubt your instincts and feel guilty for seeking honesty. In doing so, they manipulate the narrative and your perception of the relationship. The Stoics would caution against tolerating such behavior, for it undermines the virtue of integrity, which is foundational to trust. Imagine working with someone evasive on a critical project. They promise their tasks are under control, yet avoid providing specifics. When deadlines loom, Their excuses range from external mishaps to miscommunications, leaving you scrambling to pick up the pieces. Their evasion doesn't just hinder progress, it fosters frustration, mistrust, and unnecessary chaos. Evasive people are often skilled at masking their true intentions. They might pivot conversations, overcomplicate explanations, or even redirect blame, making it difficult to pin down their accountability. However, the Stoic perspective encourages us to value actions over words. When someone consistently avoids straightforwardness, their behavior speaks louder than their claims of innocence. Their lack of clarity signals a lack of respect for you and the relationship. Trust demands openness, not an endless guessing game. Relationships rooted in ambiguity and evasion cannot endure the trials of life, where clarity and dependability are essential. The Stoics remind us to act with reason and to associate with those who reflect virtue in their behavior. If someone cannot give you a simple, honest answer, they are not worthy of the trust you extend to them. The path to personal growth and inner peace requires discernment in our connections. Choose relationships that offer transparency, where questions are met with honest answers and commitments are fulfilled without hesitation. To trust someone evasive is to place your faith in a mirage, an illusion that vanishes when you need it most. Let go of those who obscure the truth and surround yourself with individuals who value clarity as profoundly as you do. In doing so, you honor yourself and the principles of trust guiding a virtuous life. Sign 5. They betray your confidence. The betrayal of a secret is one of the most profound violations of trust. To confide in someone is to expose a piece of your soul, to reveal thoughts or experiences that are vulnerable, intimate, and often sacred. In doing so, you entrust that person with a responsibility to protect your words and honor the relationship that allowed them to be shared. Yet, for some, this responsibility is treated as a trivial matter, a temptation for gossip, a weapon for manipulation, or an opportunity for self-aggrandizement. The person who cannot keep your secrets reveals their true character through their carelessness. They preface their betrayal with words like, "Don't tell anyone," but as though cloaking their indiscretion in whispered tones makes it any less damaging. They justify their actions as harmless, framing your private matters as anecdotes or lessons to share with others. But each word they repeat, each detail they expose, chips away at the trust you once thought unshakable. For the Stoic, integrity is non-negotiable. To betray confidence is not only a failure of character but a profound disrespect for the sacred bond of friendship or partnership. Imagine sharing a deeply personal struggle, a fear, a regret, or a cherished dream. By revealing this, you believe you're strengthening the connection and fostering mutual understanding. But then you hear your words echo back to you, distorted and amplified, by someone never meant to know. The pain of such a betrayal isn't just in the exposure, but in the realization that the person you trusted valued their gain over your dignity. People who betray confidence are rarely one-time offenders. They often exhibit patterns of indiscretion, betraying not only their secrets but also those of others. Pay attention to how they speak about others when you're together. Consider this a warning sign if they freely share the private affairs of mutual friends or colleagues. The Stoics remind us to observe actions over words. If they cannot protect someone else's secrets, what assurance do you have that they will guard yours? The harm caused by this type of betrayal is far-reaching. It fosters an environment of suspicion where vulnerability becomes a liability rather than a strength. It creates barriers between people, making genuine connections harder to achieve. And worst of all, it leaves a lasting scar, an internal hesitation to trust again, even with those who may be deserving. To the Stoic, the solution lies in discernment. Choose carefully whom you allow into the inner sanctum of your life. Seek out those who live with integrity and whose actions reflect the virtues of loyalty and respect. A person who can keep your secrets is someone who understands that trust is not a convenience but a duty. Trust is fragile, and once broken, it rarely heals without scars. Protect it by surrounding yourself with individuals who treat it as the precious gift it is. And when you encounter someone who sees your confidence as disposable, let them go. To hold on to such a person is to invite turmoil into your life, a weight no one pursuing wisdom and inner peace should bear. Conclusion. Trust is the cornerstone of every meaningful relationship, a delicate bond that must be handled carefully. The Stoics teach us that the people we surround ourselves with shape our lives, influencing our actions and peace of mind. Trust, once broken, rarely mends without leaving scars, and the cost of misplaced faith often outweighs the pain of letting go. Recognizing the signs of untrustworthiness, self-deception, duplicity, jealousy, evasiveness, and betrayal is not an act of cynicism but a practice of wisdom and self-respect. As you reflect on your relationships, ask yourself, do they align with your values? Do they uplift you? Or do they leave you questioning the motives and actions of others? The answers to these questions will guide you toward more vigorous, healthier connections. By holding yourself to a standard of integrity and expecting the same from others, you cultivate a life that honors the principles of Stoicism, truth, virtue, and harmony. The journey to self-mastery requires discernment. Surround yourself with those who celebrate your victories, value honesty, and cherish your trust as a sacred gift. Letting go of those who betray that trust is not cruelty. It is an act of self-preservation and respect for the life you are building. If you found these insights valuable, consider subscribing to this channel. Here, we explore the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, ancient philosophy, and tools for personal growth to help you navigate life's challenges with clarity and purpose. Join us as we uncover the lessons leading to a more virtuous, peaceful, and fulfilling life. Your journey to wisdom and inner strength begins here. Subscribe now, and let's walk this path together.